to prosper. I have come with stories to tell. I have come with testimonies. Take a look at me, you can see it. Say you can call me testimonies. It is my time and it is my season. All around me testimonies.
Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm gonna be sharing with you guys my C-section experience. Yep, it's been a month since it's been more than a month since I had the girls, and I actually wanted to wait for like a month and plus, and I actually wanted to wait for a month and more just so I can give you guys the real experience, especially about my recovery. Yep. So if you're out there and you've been told by your doctor due to one medical reason or the other you're gonna have undergo a C-section in delivering your baby, do not panic. Just sit back and listen to my story, because I believe everybody have a different experience. Because prior to me having a C-section, I have read a lot of stories from the internet, and to be honest with you guys, most of those stories were kind of negative. I did see a lot of negative story, but my experience was just different. But let me backtrack a little bit. When I first got the news I was going to be having a C-section, I was terrified. I swear, I was really terrified when I got the news I was having a C-section. And if you don't know, the reason I had a C-section is because my baby A was breached. But on the day of my delivery, we came to find out like both babies were breached. So I had no option but to undergo a C-section because those babies were ready to come. So on the day of my C-section, I went to the hospital, got my epidural. You must have seen that from my labor and delivery story. Yep, everything went smoothly. What I remember, after I had the C-section, they took me to the recovery room from the OR, and I was there, and they did give me like a pain medication. They brought my babies to me, but at that point I was undergoing a lot of shaking, and I was like itchy too, so I just couldn't do much. Because I was undergoing a lot of shaking and itchy. That's the downside of the C-section from the medication, but I'm gonna get to that later. Yep. So after I had the C-section, they gave me like a waistband just to support my incision, and it felt kind of good, and it also supports my tummy to kind of cinch it a little bit, but I didn't feel any pain doing that. After I had the C-section, I was not allowed to take shower. My doctor told me I can take shower the next day. Coming in, oh, how you feeling pain? Do you need any medication? For some reason, I don't know if I have a high pain tolerance, but I wasn't feeling any pain. I mean, the hospital, after I had my C-section, I stayed in the hospital I was there from a Thursday to Sunday. So a day after the C-section, my doctor came in to check my incision. So when she did check my incision, because they had put like a little band-aid on it, so when she checked my incision, she took that out. So I thought she was gonna replace it, maybe because it was dirty, she was gonna replace it, but no, she took it out. I'm like, am I good? Is that okay? She's like, yeah, you're good, you don't need to put anything, that's it, you can go ahead and take a shower. I'm like, wow, that's really good. I didn't expect that. I thought it was like, you know, when you have an open wound, you expect them to continue to put a band-aid on it till it heals up. Seen my labor, and if you saw my labor and delivery story and the labor and delivery vlog, you should know I drove to the hospital. So on the day of my discharge, my car was still at the hospital, it was still at the garage. So when my husband came to pick us up, he's like, okay, maybe we'll come get your car some other day. I'm like, no, I can't leave my car here. It's just a car, I can drive, you know. It's just me sitting in the car and driving home, which is like 10 to 15 minutes away from the house. So he's like, are you sure? Is that okay? I'm like, yeah. So when the nurse walked us down the building, so I got in my husband's car. I told him, drive to the garage, let me get my car. So when we got to the garage, I got my car and I drove. When I got home on that day, I'm that type of person, I like to move. I cannot sit still. I don't know what's wrong with me. I just like things to be in order. Like, I mean, it's not like the house wasn't in order. My husband did a great job taking care of the kids, and the house was in order, but I just wanted to eat something different because I wasn't ready when I got to the hospital to have the babies, so there wasn't much in the house for me to eat. and I've been eating like food from restaurant and just a little some from home. So I was craving for something. So immediately, I mean, I'll say like about 3 hours later, I got in the kitchen and I wanted to eat pepper soup. I'm a person, like when I'm doing something, I just like to share on social media sometimes when I feel like. So I got on social media and I posted me what I cooked and I was about to eat, and I got a lot of messages like from people, oh my gosh, who cooked that? Are you strong enough to do that? Are you just people being concerned for me, you know. I'm like, yeah, it's okay. It's not like back home, like when you want to cook something, you have to fetch firewood. I mean not like fetch firewood. I mean the process to cook back home is just different. Yeah, I mean, I'm just indoor, I'm just blending things, getting things out of the freezer, and it wasn't that of a big deal, but it wasn't a big deal to me. And you know, but I just believe people, they just cared about me, they were just concerned, you know. But I was okay. My doctor told me to schedule a 2 weeks appointment so she can check my incision. So I did schedule a 2 weeks appointment. So I went for the appointment. It was a quick one. She checked my incision. She's like, oh, it's healing really good. I'm like, okay. And that's it. She's like, oh, schedule an appointment a month later for your 6 weeks checkup. I'm like, okay, that's fine. And that was about it. I kept healing. You know, when I left the hospital, my doctor did write me a prescription of pain medication and another medication. For the pain medication, it says take it after, I mean, as needed. I don't know the instruction, but I really wasn't taking the pain medication. I didn't want to get my system too used to the pain medication if I'm not feeling any pain. So I really wasn't taking the pain medication. I'll take it on some days if I feel a little pain, you know, every now and then. They gave me instructions on how to take care of my incision, which I did follow. Yep, so it was pretty easy. Just use a clean washcloth, you know, just things like that, keeping it clean just in case of any infection. You don't want to infect the area. So I was keeping it clean. I was doing what I was asked to do. So I healed pretty good. I would say, like, I mean, after I left the hospital, after 3 days, I was fine. So after I got home, I had another waist cincher. I started using that a day after. I just decided to try it on to see if I'm gonna feel any pain. But when I put it on, I snapped that thing like real tight, but I didn't feel any pain. Everything was okay. So I just believe everybody's experience is different. The way I healed with my C-section, if I had to choose, trust me, I'll go for a C-section again. I'll pick a C-section over a natural delivery. It's not like I had an issue with a natural delivery, but with my C-section compared with my first baby, I felt more pain with the first baby. If I have to choose, trust me, I'll go for a C-section. Because it wasn't that big of a deal. I kept telling my sister, is this it? Is this what they say it is? Like, it's not like I'm bragging, I'm high pain tolerant, I can do this, I'm a badass. No, it's not like that. It's just how I feel. So I just feel like this story might inspire someone, because when we hear of C-section, we get so skeptical. You don't want to be cut open. Of course, nobody wants to be cut open, but due to medical reasons, sometimes we have no option than to go for that. So hope this story did inspire somebody out there. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys on my next video. Bye.